How are you?
Oh,
Okay.
hello. Sorry. How are you?
It's okay. Good to see you again.
Good to
Good
see
seeing
you.
you.
We met in London for Endgame, but I've basically lost as much weight as Thor gained for that film. So
That
my
is
God.
awesome, man. Congrats. Good for you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent. Okay, so first things first. Was the Ken doll joke on purpose?
The Ken doll joke was actually prior to Ryan taking the role.
If you can believe it, it's true.
But we like
Yeah.
to think we inspired him to play Ken.
I think so too. I think so
Yeah.
too. But okay, I want to talk about you guys because
Yeah.
I think, having been a fan of yours, going back to the Community days, I feel like this is the film that you guys were always threatening to make. It's like you flirted with the possibility of doing this, and now you've just fully tested yourselves. Like we're
We
going to
did
do a
it.
film,
Yeah.
9 gigantic,
Yeah.
$200 million action sequences. Like,
Yeah.
was that a conscious journey for you? I mean, did you kind of like say, okay, we're going to put our money where our mouth is and test ourselves like never before?
I mean, we don't target, like Anthony and I work so much, and we're such voracious pop culture junkies when we were kids, and it was really diverse amount of content that we consumed, and it was from such different media. I mean, we played video games endlessly, Dungeons and Dragons, read Tolkien, went to art house films, watched Dobie Gillis. I mean, just go down the list of completely insane, hard to draw a path through influences that, our approach has always been, where are we at this moment in our lives, and what excites us right now? What are we interested in doing? And we've had a lot of scripts that we've worked on over the years that we haven't returned to, but this was one of those scripts that we just felt like it was so excessive, the novel, and so entertaining and relentless. And, our favorite films growing up also, we make movies as film fans. We're trying to give that same experience to people that we had in the theater when we were younger. You would forget to eat your popcorn. And we wanted to make that kind of movie where it just, from the minute it started to the minute it finished, it didn't let you go. And that was the intention with this film, excess as entertainment.
And I feel like, while there might not be as direct a through line, with filmmakers like you, obviously, you wear your influences on your sleeve, but, whereas, Carpenter might have had Hawks, De Palma might have had Hitchcock. Did you guys have, like, when you're looking at this film in particular, I mean, you can see like shades of like Paul Greengrass, you can see so many different things. What was in your head most consciously?
It's interesting. I don't think, we definitely have very strong influences in the sense that there's certain movies we love that kind of cause us to want to chase, like say Ronin or something like that.
Or McTiernan,
Yeah.
McTiernan was a big influence on this film.
But we don't, once that kind of tips us, like once that points us in a direction, I think that's when we stop thinking about it, because the task we have is to bring something new to the table, so your relationship to your influences has to end at some point in order for you to find a new form of expression around an inspiration, right? You're taking something as an inspiration. So I don't know that we sort of keep it in our brains as we're moving through the process.
I mean, obviously, humor is something that's kind of in your DNA, but I mean, even thinking about like McTiernan, making these little moments actually funny is something that I feel like action has struggled with since the 80s, and I think Ryan is such a perfect vehicle for that because he is just genuinely funny.
He's very
his sense of
dry
humor is
and
great.
very witty and quirky. So he's an excellent combination. It's very hard to find this. Ryan is an excellent combination of physicality, grit, believable badass, and quirky sense of humor. That's a very tricky combination to find in an actor, and it allowed us to make a quirky action film. Anthony and I are most inspired by interesting tonal mixtures, like mad scientists in a laboratory taking beakers and pouring things into different beakers and hoping we don't explode. And so it's fun to do quirky, absurdist elements in an excessively aggressive action movie, and try to marry those two together and see what happens. And then also add in like a pugilistic parable about, leaning towards humanity or leaning away from humanity, and sort of mixing it all together and seeing what comes of it. That's what's compelling to us. what's interesting too is that we live in an age of pure intertextualism. Like everything is intertextual, and I think that's why we talk about our influences all the time, because we're trying to appeal to a generation that is obsessed with intertextualism. All of social media is self-referential. Everything is about where this came from or where it goes and how it's all interconnected. And I think that's another element, because I've got 4 kids and he has 2 kids that are all that age, that really motivates us as filmmakers, is how to connect a story to the next generation that is sort of driving or is basically the core audience for the kinds of movies that we make.
Would you guys still be interested in doing, if things go well, a Gray Man 2, or is this kind of you want to just do, okay, we have this film lined up, we have this series lined up, you just constantly want to be doing new things and maybe pass this to Sam Hargrave, a director that you respect, for a potential sequel?
I think it's a combination of what you're saying. I mean, we definitely crafted the Gray Man in a way to look, there's a lot of interesting characters in this movie played by amazing actors. We sort of came up with a core mythology to the universe that you only get the tip of the iceberg in this movie. We definitely thought of a larger narrative universe for this movie that we want to explore. And it's something that's really exciting to us. Of course, we have to see how this movie works with audiences to know whether or not that exploration is sort of worthwhile. But this is definitely something we're excited about doing more of.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see it, and can't wait to see everything you guys do next. Great talking to you again.
Thank you,
right.
man. We really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good to see
appreciate
you.
it.
Pleasure. Take care.
Yeah, take
Ciao.
care.